Let's turn to Mary C. Curtis. She's a columnist for Roll Call and a host of the podcast Equal Time. Mary, I don't know where to begin. Let's talk about how aggressive, confrontational, and chaotic this debate was. The candidates, wannabe candidates, I should say, taking aim at one another. And the elephant in the room, Donald Trump not there once again. In your mind, did this debate make a dent? Did it change any minds?
I don't think it did. As you said, it was quite chaotic. Sometimes you didn't know what was going on. Afterward, Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, who wants to be the nominee, was asked what audiences would think at home. And he said, well, I think they would change the channel because the indictments, the felony charges, it hasn't dented the popularity of former President Donald Trump. And you wonder what the folks on the stage were going for. Second place, a VP slot. Trump said none of them would be a VP material. And you also, they're not really going at him except for Chris Christie, former governor of New Jersey, who's low in the polls, but they have to beat him first. And even the moderators didn't really ask a lot of questions on what they think of the former president's role, or if he had one in January 6th, the insurrection. They didn't ask about these indictments, and they really have to go at him.
Chris Christie, since we're talking about him, had really an interesting line for the night, calling Donald Trump Donald Duck for ducking these debates. And I mean, you make a good point. I wonder if any of this really makes a difference, whether Donald Trump shows up or not. He's still far ahead in the polls.
Yes, he is. He's so far ahead. And of course, they all came with their little nicknames, their canned lines, and they all roll them out. And you wonder how they go over. And Donald Trump says, let's just skip this. I'm going to be the nominee. Everybody get behind me. Of course, you have current President Biden looking at this whole scene and saying, look, I'm trying to run the government. We're close to a government shutdown. I am trying to work and help with the strikes. And I'm trying to be the president of the United States, where these folks are arguing, not mentioning former President Trump's problems, and also not looking that in Washington we may have a government shutdown. And so it's kind of, and also the issue of abortion really didn't come up too much this time, and that's going to be a big one, as it has been in every election since the overturning of Roe. So, yes, as you say, will this make a difference, despite the fact that all of these other folks are arguing with one another and not taking on Donald Trump?
Yeah, and a lot of attacks also targeted Vivek Ramaswamy. Haley said she felt dumber every time he talked. Scott attacked him for doing business in China. Everyone who had the chance to take a shot at him, they did.
Yes, his people are saying that shows that people are afraid of him. We saw him get a lot of attention in the first debate, but it wasn't reflected in the poll numbers. So we see that a lot of people, his personality as this young, brash candidate may be wearing thin when they're looking into his policies. You did see DeSantis and Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina trying to assert themselves more because they really disappeared in that first debate. But then you saw the South Carolinians, Nikki Haley and Tim Scott, going after one another.
Very quickly, Mary, and then there was this really cringe-worthy, awkward moment where Mike Pence tried, I guess, to show his lighter side, where he joked that he, in fact, was sleeping with his wife. What was that about? What was the point? It didn't work.
It didn't work. They were talking about, somebody made a point about Joe Biden sleeping with the teachers union because he's married to Dr. Jill Biden, who's a teacher. So Mike Pence threw his piece into it. I think he better give up the comedy.
All right. I think we're going to leave it there. Mary C. Curtis, thank you very much.
Thank you.